Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. So today I'm going to be making a pop-up gatefold card for a very special friend's 60th wedding anniversary. And these are some of the products that I'm going to be using to create my card. So I'll just run through those now with you. I've got the Meadow Sweet Peas 3D embossing folder from Lisa Horton Crafts, the Alternate lace and Enchanted beginnings, this generic text embossing folder, and then I'm going to be using the Majectic maple tree die, which is one of my absolute favourites, and I thought it would be perfect for a 60th wedding anniversary card. So first of all, I've got my gatefold card base. This I cut from a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, so I cut it in half at 6 inches, so the panel was 6 by 12, and then I scored it at 3 and 9. And then just to make sure that that closes nicely, I'm just taking off a very small thin hairline of cardstock from either side of those panels. To decorate those panels, I've got 2 pieces of silver mirror cardstock. Both have been cut to measure 5 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, and the one I've embossed with the Enchanted Beginnings embossing folder and the other one with the Meadow of Sweet Peas. And I'm just going to add some liquid glue to the back of these and stick them on the inside of my panels there. I'm making sure that I've got a nice even white border around it, and because my glass mat is magnetic, I'm just using my magnets to hold that in place while the glue dries, but you could weigh it down with something heavy if you need to. And then for the centerpiece, I just used the text embossing folder to emboss this white panel. That's 5 1/2 inches squared, and the mirror silver layer is 5 3/4 inches squared. And again, I'm just going to glue those together and pop that down in the center of the card. And so that's the basic decoration of the inside of the card here. I am creating a second panel. This is going to be where I'm going to write my message, but I'm not going to glue that on in this video because I want to write my message on it before I do, so that if I make any mistakes, I can always just redo it. So of course you could do that before you attach it to the silver mirror card if you prefer. I've then used the 3D lace embossing folder, and these 2 panels are going to decorate the front of our gatefold card, so you can see how that design lines up there. And so those panels are 2 1/2 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and the silver mirror panels are 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. I'm just going to use some double-sided tape here to stick that onto the mirror card, and then I'm going to add some liquid glue as well. And the tape's just going to hold it in place while the glue sets. It just makes it a little bit easier because sometimes on mirror card, glue can be a little bit slippy, and I really don't want that to move at all. I want it to keep a nice even border. So I'm doing the same for the other panel, and then I'll use the liquid glue just to stick those down to the front of my gatefold card, making sure that the pattern lines up nicely. Again, I can use my magnets to weigh that down while the glue grabs, but again, you could place something heavy on it if you need to. So here is the basic setup of our card, and I think it's coming together really beautifully. It looks really, really pretty, and you can see how we've got that gatefold look. But I really want this maple tree to be the pop-up feature in the card so that it's going to fall forward when the card is open, and I think that's going to look really pretty. So I've die cut all the layers of the tree from different types of white cardstock. So some is kind of textured, some is plain, and then I've got the mirror silver cardstock for the tree trunk. And that was just to really add a little bit of interest. I didn't want it to all be the same white layer. Now I did use my Chrome Precision base plate with my Big Shot machine, so if you do struggle with intricate dies, something like this can really help you get a really crisp die cut when you're using such an intricate die. So that's a really useful tool to have if you do have the Big Shot machine. As you can see on the keyhole system from Altenew, you've got those little arrows. Each of the die cuts has got a number on as well, so you know which order to glue them together in. And so I'm just going to start by adding lots of little dabs of glue to the tree trunk, very carefully with my Belly Arts glue, and then I'm going to add my first layer, which is that back piece. Now I didn't need to add any glue to the trunk, so I've just wiped that off, and I'm going to do the same now with this top panel, again just adding the liquid glue. For the third layer, I do decide that I'm going to heat emboss that, just because I didn't have another type of cardstock. I thought I could heat emboss this, so you can see I've got those few die cut pieces there, and I'm going to use the Wow Embossing frosted glass. This is just going to add a really subtle shimmer to that cardstock. So I'm going to use my fingers just to press the die cut into the embossing ink pad, and then I've got a scrap of white paper to the side of me which I can then tip the embossing powder onto. This is a little bit messy, so just be prepared to wash your fingers afterwards. And now I'm just adding that frosted glass embossing powder all over the die cut. I'm going to use some tweezers just to pick those pieces out, and I'm going to use my cork mat to place those on and then heat emboss them on. I normally like to heat emboss from underneath, but with such an intricate die cut you're not going to be able to. But using a cork mat just dissipates the heat, so you get less warping. And there you can see we've got the die cuts there. I don't think that the embossing powder is really picking up very well on camera. It is very subtle, but it does just add a nice little bit of texture and sheen. So I'm now going to line up that keyhole symbol with the rest of the die cut, and in exactly the same way I'm just going to add some dots of liquid glue and then stick that down. You definitely could die cut these pieces using double-sided sheets, but because it's such an intricate die, I think you'd really struggle to line it all up really carefully, and the liquid glue just gives you that little bit of wiggle room. So you really don't need much glue, just a few little dots, and it will hold that all in place. So while that just has a moment to dry, we're going to just make our little pop-up element. Now I'm sorry that the camera's gone out of focus here, but I'm just cutting a piece of white cardstock to measure 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/4. So this is just going to be our little pop-up element. It really doesn't matter if these measurements are exact. You can create your own, any size that you want really. I just want to make sure that it's small enough to be hidden behind the die cut when it's pushed down. So next I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, and I'm going to score this at 3/4 of an inch, 1.5 inches, 2 1/4 inch and 3 inches. So I'm just using my score tool here just to do that. So just to repeat, that was 3/4 of an inch, 1.5 inches, 2 1/4 and 3 inches. And then I'm just going to use my bone fold just to make sure that those score lines are really nice and crisp. So whatever size pop-up you're doing, you can customize this shape. It really doesn't need to be these exact measurements, but you just want it to be big enough to stick to the back of your die cut, but small enough so that it's going to be hidden when it's folded flat. And really you can use this for any kind of object that you want on your card. It doesn't have to be this tree die, but as you can see I've just added a little bit of glue there to stick it to the back of the tree. Now I want to work out where I want this to be on my card. So I really want it hidden when the card's closed. So I'm making sure that when that piece is folded flat, the tree is going to be well within the card. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to that one square, and then I can flip the tree over and stick that down nice and flat. And I'm just going to weigh that down again with my magnet while the glue dries. So once it's dry, you can see that that tree is going to pop up on the card and it's going to stand out away from the card, and that piece is hidden nicely. I do decide just to add a few little silver gems to the tree just for an extra bit of added sparkle. And again, I just think that looks so pretty. So next I'm going to make the belly band that's going to hold all of this together. So I've die cut a heart from some white cardstock. I've got this Happy Anniversary stamp set from Crafter's Companion. I don't know if it's still available, but I really want to use that lovely scripty font that says anniversary. So I'm just using an anti-static powder bag, and I'm going to ink that up with my Wow embossing ink, and then I'm just going to stamp that nice and centrally on the heart. I'm then going to add some Wow polished silver embossing powder, and then I'm going to heat set that from underneath. And that just makes sure that you get a really nice, smooth, crisp emboss. So I now want to add a expression that just says on your, but I don't have a small enough stamp set that just says that. So I'm going to mask off this one from the Thoughtful Flowers from Gina K Designs. It says on your anniversary in full, but I just want the on your. So I just used some washi tape there so that the embossing ink would only capture the first part of the sentiment. I'm then able to dust off any powder that's stuck using a little paintbrush. And again, we can heat set that from underneath. And because my heat tool's nice and hot, it doesn't take too long at all. So I'm going to mount this onto a piece of silver mirror cardstock that I've die cut from a slightly larger heart. I've die cut a load of number dies. I'm going to stack them so that they're nice and thick embellishments. So I've die cut 2 out of white cardstock and 1 out of silver. The silver numbers are actually embossed. I'd use the lace embossing folder on some silver cardstock. And then I decided that I wanted to use that embossing folder on the front of the card with the white. So I didn't end up using that piece inside. So I die cut the numbers from it, and it gave them a really nice texture. For my belly band, I'm using a piece of vellum. This is from Pink Frog Cards and Crafts in the UK. And it's actually got sequins in, like really fine glitter really pretty vellum. So I've cut a piece of that. It measures about 2 inches by 11.5 inches. But again, this size is not rigid. You can customize it depending on your card. I'm adding some red line tape here, which I'm going to use to attach the heart. So notice how the vellum doesn't quite meet up in the middle. That doesn't matter because the heart piece is going to stick to that vellum either side, and that's going to hold it all in place. I'm now just going to work out where I want to arrange the numbers on the front of the card, and then I'll just use some liquid glue to hold those down. I do decide off camera to add a few flowers. I used a die set from Altenew called Aster's, and that's another layering keyhole system die set, so it looks really pretty, and you'll see that in the end photos. So here's my finished card. You can see that you just pop the tree up when you open it and it stands up beautifully. It looks really pretty. It's hard to kind of capture the 3D effect with the white on white, but I hope that the shadow that the tree is making is showing you that it really stands off the card and looks really pretty. I decided that when I close the card, I'm going to push the tree upwards so that when the recipient opens it, the tree is going to fall forwards. I think that's going to look much nicer. And then the belly band just slides over the top. And you can see here the little tiny sequins that are in the vellum. It looks really pretty. And the embossed numbers as well. That top left hand corner is where I'm going to add some flowers, so you'll see that in the finishing photos. But as always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that it's given you some inspiration of ways that you can use your die cuts and to turn them into pop-up cards. I think this just looks so pretty, and I know that the recipient's going to be delighted with it. So as always, all the products that I've used will be listed down below. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more from me, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.